If I wanted to learn a handmade skill today, be it crochet, beading, braiding, makeup, or any other handmade skill, and I didn't have money to pay an expert, this is exactly what I would do. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Elvin. I am your go-to girl for any skill you want to learn online, especially for free. So if this is what you've been looking for, if this is what you're after, if you want to learn a handmade skill and you don't have money to pay an expert, then this is exactly where you should be. So go ahead and click the subscribe button and be a part of our community. Please do that right now. I'm waiting. Thank you. If I wanted to learn a handmade skill today, be it crochet, beading, braiding, makeup, or any other handmade skill, and I didn't have money to pay an expert, the first step is to pick a handmade skill I am genuinely curious about, something I really want to learn, and not just because everyone is doing it, but because I have interest in it. Get super clear on what I want to learn. Just one clear sentence: I want to learn crochet bags and sell them. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to follow the trend. You don't have to be all over the place, but just something you like that aligns with your interest. Because, and especially if you want to learn like crochet bags, there should be bags that you can carry around, something that aligns with your style of fashion, something you would easily do without stress. So first of all, you pick that skill. It has to be one skill, not 5 skills. No, one particular skill you're genuinely curious about. Then the second thing that I would do is go to YouTube, Pinterest. Of course, you have to first of all buy data. But yeah, next thing I would do is go to YouTube or Pinterest and search smart. Not just type how to crochet bags, how to do beaded bags. No, very beginner specific friendly tutorial. Mind you that specific searches give better results. YouTube is a free university, like I often call it, but only for those who know how to search smart. You can go steps like how to crochet a beginner friendly bag, how to make a beaded. Sorry, I'm going to be using crochet a lot because it is my own. If you're here for the first time, it is my most skill of interest. Let me put it that way. I have other skills like beaded bags, but I am more into crochet bags, so I might use crochet bags as examples a lot more than I use other skills. Doesn't mean other skills are harder to learn or there is a lot. No, I'll probably talk more about the skill that I am mainly involved in. So when you want to search, don't just go and write how to crochet a bag, you say crochet beginner friendly tutorials. Of course, YouTube is going to propose different beginner friendly tutorials to you, and then that will take us to our next step. The next thing I would do is to pick one creator whose teaching style I like. Mind you, after 2-3 videos you'll not be able to conclude on having a favorite creator. No, it's going to take a few videos that you watch actually to see who explains better, but at the same time you don't have to watch 100 videos. Like I said in my previous video, learning online, learning for free is going to take longer than one work with an expert. So of course you have to be patient and consistent. So you're going to have to watch a few videos in order to be able to pick a favorite creator, which means you're going to see who explains better, who pays more attention to detail, who takes time to explain detailing. Of course, there are some people who are doing this, but you are going to have to pick one. So you're going to pick one whose teaching style you like, whom you can, especially their language is a language you understand. The terms she uses are friendly, he or she uses are friendly. So you're going to commit to learning from this particular creator. You follow their tutorials. It's very important before you go ahead to buy materials. You have watched a couple of videos from your favorite creator. Of course, you're going to start by watching from several creators, but I want to tell you that consistency beats confusion. You're just going to have to close your eyes and choose one creator whom you like and stay with that person and stick to that person. And after watching about 5 of their videos, their beginner friendly videos, then you can go on to the next step. Next thing I would do is gather cheap and basic materials. Please be very careful when you're starting a new skill. Don't go for very luxurious, expensive materials. No, buy the basic materials. As a beginner, you have no business buying professional and the most expensive materials. No, buy the basic materials that you can afford at the time and start with the most basic things. Of course, beginner-friendly tutorials would have like the most basic materials. For crochet, for example, beginner-friendly tutorials will need just yarn and a hook. That's all that you need. Maybe for sewing, of course, something like sewing, you definitely need a sewing machine. But nowadays, there are lots of sewing machine options that you can get. There are even some that are really small. You can start from there and learn how to sew lines. You learn how to sew, I don't know, a zigzag pattern. I don't know how they are called. But you can get the most basic tools. And from there, you start. One stitch, one bead, one crochet line. Day by day, you stay consistent. I will always talk about being consistent because there is no way you are going to learn alone online without being consistent. It doesn't work. And patient. And what's more, when you complete something small, you build confidence. You can watch 1,000 tutorials on YouTube, but if you haven't done something, it doesn't get you anywhere. So you start small and then you build your confidence. And that will take us to the 5th thing I would do: practice the same project repeatedly. See, I used to tell my students who come for crochet lessons, there are some crochet patterns as a beginner that you have no business with. You have no business learning 10 crochet bags at the same time. You have no business learning 10 beaded bags, 5 beaded bags at the same time. You have no business learning several different patterns of different projects, something you're just a beginner at the same time. No, choose a specific design and work on it repeatedly. Master your strengths and your weaknesses while learning. You know that, okay, this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm not good at. They like crochet bags and beaded bags, or crochet wears generally. You can always undo the first project and use the same materials and work on the same project over and over again. So this is why I encourage you to do the same project over and over again, so that you can master your strengths and your weaknesses, and you don't have to go about buying different materials for those projects. You use the same materials and you do the same project over and over again. You build consistency, you learn to work faster, and your hands understand the skill. Handmade skills are more of muscle memory, not magic, which means your hands should be able to remember that, oh, this is what we did this other time, this is what we did even we got here. So that muscle memory is very important. Your hands and your brain are working together on the same pattern over and over again. That way you're sure that, okay, I'm already an expert in this design, I'm already an expert in this one, now we can move on to the next thing. Again, you have no business learning 5 different crochet bags at the same time. No, one at a time. Get perfect at it, and then you move on to the next thing. So this should be our step 6, would be to track my progress. What do I mean by track my progress? You take pictures. Whenever you finish your first project, you take a picture and keep. When you finish your second project, you take a picture and keep. And now you look at the difference, you look at them and you see a difference, because definitely your first project will not be the same as your feed. There's definitely going to be an improvement from the first one to the feed one. And when you see improvement, you stay motivated. Once I've done the same tutorial, once I've done the same design maybe 4 or 5 times, I give myself a challenge, and this time around I can decide to change the color of the yarn that I was using. I can decide to change the color of the fabric, change the kind of beads I was using. You know, just play around with different materials that you have available if you can afford to buy more. Of course, at this point you should be able to buy more, and maybe play around with different things that you have available and see what does better. See how much you have actually mastered this skill, and from there you can move on to a new pattern. It will not just help your muscle memory, but also help you to be creative, to diversify. When you watch a tutorial, you don't just end at doing exactly what that person is doing. Sometimes you can say, oh, what if I do this? What if I put this bead here instead of doing a single stitch here? Maybe what if I do a double stitch here and just see how it turns out? What if I use a zigzag stitch here? What if I fold the fabric here? You know, you just try out different things and see for yourself. That is what, now you are a creative. You're not just following the pattern blindly, and that's what is going to help you when you eventually grow in the business, because now you're not only going to depend on what you see people do. You're not only going to depend on tutorials that you see online, but you're also going to be able to use your brain and try out new things. And now to the last thing that I would do if I were learning a skill online, I would find an accountability partner. Please, this is very important. Involve your friends, involve your family when you're learning a new skill. This is not just a show of, oh, this is not. Some people, when they tell people, they kind of jinx it. So I don't mean you should go and make an announcement on your status that you're learning crochet bags, or you've done one pattern, you go and post it on your status. No, you find someone whom you trust, whom you can report to, who would call you after 2 days and say, oh, how far with your crochet, how far with your beading, how far with your tailoring. Someone who checks up on you, who keeps you accountable and helps you stay consistent. These are the kind of people you should have as your accountability partners. Not just people who will laugh at you. Of course, your friends will probably laugh at you, but it should keep, in one way, it should also keep you motivated. So don't look at it like, oh, this person is laughing at me. No, our mothers are highest cheerleaders. Of course, some parents don't want their kids, maybe you're still in school, your parents don't want you involved with learning something else apart from studying in school. That is perfectly understandable. You should not. But if you would ask me, I'll say maybe involve your parents, and they would be your accountability partners. They're going to keep asking you, how far? What have you done this week? And if you need materials, of course, they'll be the ones to buy you materials. So I highly recommend having your parents or your siblings to be your accountability partner. So yeah, these are the 7 things I would do, or I advise you to do. Somewhere along the line, I kind of missed saying and I started using with you, but this is what I would do if I wanted to learn a new skill online today. So let's go over the 7 steps again. First thing, I would get clear on what I want to learn, find a skill I want to learn. The second thing, I would search smart on YouTube or Pinterest. I would find one creator whose teaching style I like. The fourth thing, I would gather cheap and basic affordable materials. The fifth, I would do the same pattern repeatedly. I would do the same thing repeatedly. And the sixth thing, I would track my progress. And lastly, I would find an accountability partner. So if there's anything you think I have not mentioned that you would do as a beginner or as someone who wants to learn a handmade skill online and I have not mentioned, please put in the comments. And also, if you want me to break down these steps into different, I could actually take a video to just talk about maybe how to search smart on YouTube, or the basic material I can need for what I'm skilled in, like for crocheting, the basic materials. Just comment in the comment section what you would want me to do, and I would make sure to record a video specifically for that. If you watched till this very moment and you've not subscribed, it would honestly mean the world to me that you hit the subscribe button. Many of you who watch these videos do not subscribe. It is how we grow this our little community. So if you watched till the end, please click the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the notifications bell so that you can get notified whenever we post a new video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.